Hello, welcome. This is my video review to TT, the Titty Twister, as they call it, by Big Brother Yoyos. This is the second this is my second video review I've done. The first video review was my Frantic video review. I'm gonna do similar to what I did with the Frantic, talk about the play, and how it feels, and then compare it to several different yo-yos. So here's the TT. This is the TT. I got this from Doug, prototype guy on Yo-Yo Nation. He was selling 10 of them, I think, on the Buy Sell Trade forum, and I just had to get one. They looked really nice. So the TT, as you can see, it has a pretty big gap. It's a 4.5mm gap, which is pretty big for the bearing size. It uses a D-sized bearing, which is what Spy or H-spin yo-yos use. And usually their gaps are pretty small, but this is actually a lot larger gap. The cool thing about, I'll talk about that later. The shape, it's not oversized, it's not undersized, this yo-yo. It's mid-sized, I guess you'd call it, or normal sized. The weight is about 66 grams, which is pretty good in my opinion. That's my kind of weight. I like 67 gram yo-yos. What's cool about this is it has spikes, as you can see. Spikes. And the cool thing about these is they're part of the axle, and so they're stainless steel spikes, and they're actually, let me take it apart for you. As you can see now, there's a hole, and this is the axle. And the axle setup and the bearing seat are different on this yo-yo. The axle is quite thick, and so the bearing sits on the axle instead of having a bearing seat that it sits on. It's already stuck in on one side, so it won't fall out ever. I really like this yo-yo. I have to give big credit to Doug and the Big Brother Yo-Yo people for designing it. I've never tried. This is my first Big Brother Yo-Yo. I've never actually tried a bully or a wedgie or any of the prototypes he's ever made, and so I didn't know what to expect from it. I had heard good things from people on the team who'd tried it already, and they all said it was really good. So I went ahead and got it. I'm really enjoying it. It's by far one of my favorite yo-yos I have played for a while. I'm gonna come. Okay, so the bearing on it, I really like this bearing. I don't know what it about D-size bearings, but they're really quiet. I mean, I've cleaned this and de-shielded it and put a bit of lube in it. It's silent. You cannot hear it spinning. It's really nice. And it spins for a while too. It's unresponsive when you get it, and then I cleaned mine because it was a bit loud, so I cleaned it and lubed it, and it was really nice. Spins forever. It's just regular. The finish is just regular anodized, no bead blasting or anything. It's red. You wouldn't think this would grind that well, but actually it grinds extremely well. It probably grinds just as good as any bead blasted yo-yo I've played. It's really nice. It's a very stable yo-yo. It has a lot of weight to it on the rim, and so sorry about that. Has a lot of weight on the rims, and so it spins for a long time, and it's very stable. Let's see. it's, you know how people always use the expression oxy smooth. I've never played in the oxy, so I wouldn't know exactly if this is true, but I would say this is very, I've heard the oxygen 4 is very floaty and smooth. This is, I'd say this is extremely floaty and extremely smooth. There's not one bit of vibe on it at all. It's very nice, and it floats through your tricks really nicely. It's not fast yo-yo, it's heavier, so you can't really move very fast with it, but I like that. My style of yo-yoing is not fast at all, so I prefer that. Um, the bearing size is smaller than the large bearing, so you wouldn't think it would be able to handle many string layers, but the gap makes up for that. The gap is 4.5 millimeters, as I said, and it's really nice. It manages to carry a ton of string layers, because of the big gap. The weight distribution, as I said, a lot of the weight is on the rims, so it spins for a very long time, and it has a very good weight. I like it. So I'm going to compare it to a couple of other yo-yos I have. This is a Freehand Zero, as you can see. It's not dissimilar size to Freehand Zero, it's wider than Freehand Zero, but definitely. See, I have a peak here. Smaller than a peak. Definitely a lot smaller than a peak, because the peak's definitely full-sized. Almost as wide. The peak's a bit wider though. Here's a Skyline. Skyline's a lighter, smaller yo-yo. It's not dissimilar in size, I'd say. And here's one of my other favorite yo-yos. It's a Madhouse 5150 or 5150. They are actually very similar in size, but very different shape. Madhouse is a lot lighter as well. So, conclusion, I highly suggest this yo-yo. This is one of my most favorite yo-yos right now. I've had it for about a week now. It's extremely nice. Well, not a week, maybe 5-6 days. I can't put it down. It's really nice. It outplays any other yo-yo I have. It fits my style really well. It's not fast, so you're not forced to zoom through your tricks like some people do with lighter yo-yos. It's just a really nice yo-yo. I'd highly suggest getting one. They're not in production yet. I've heard from Doug that they're making like 250 of them, and they should be in stores in a couple of months, sometime after the World Yo-Yo Contest. So it's a bit of a wait. You might see some pop up in the buy sell trade forums on any of the forums. That's really about it. So you can't buy it yet, but definitely look out for it and get one when they do come into stores. So that's my review of the TT by Big Brother Yoyos. My name is Freedom Zenith, and you've just been filled in.